What up, guys? We're back. I know it's been a while since my last video. Sometimes the sickness of fishing takes over, and I've just been having a lot of fun fishing lately. So I'm trying to get back on it for you guys. Before I get into, I'm gonna make this short and sweet. Before I get into what I feel like is the most, you can use it all year round. I know I talked about Texas rig fishing, but I feel like I skipped over something that I feel like is much more deadly, I feel like, and can be used in just all year round, no matter where the fish are sitting, whether it be suspended, it be close up. I mean, I feel like it's a great way to catch fish year round, and it's fun and it's really easy. So for beginners, I mean, it's how I started fishing. It was like probably one of my favorite ways to fish, and still is if I can't get a bite. I use it as a follow-up bait too, but we'll get more into that. I kind of want to get into, like, I ran across some stuff in the Bible this week. I know I told you in a previous video, like, get a Bible, start reading it in your walk with God. The next step, I feel like, is baptism, and I was thinking about that a lot. So I've been baptized, and I had the honor of baptizing my kids probably a month ago. But as I'm reading, kind of thinking about this stuff, because I was able to baptize one of my close friends on this recent trip. We went to the river. It was awesome, which that video is going to come out next. That's why I'm trying to get this one out so I can start working on that one. But I was thinking about that, and before we went on the trip to baptize him, sometimes I feel like the Bible just speaks to me, man. So I'm reading Ezekiel. So it was Ezekiel 36, 25 through 27. And it says on here, "Then I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you will be clean. Your filth will be washed away, and you will no longer worship idols. I will give you a new heart, and I will put a new spirit in you. I will take out the stony, stubborn heart and give you a tender, responsive heart. And I will put my spirit in you so that you will follow my decrees and be careful to obey my regulations." Man, to me, like, that's, without knowing that was what was going to happen. I think my wife can attest to this. When I came to God and I gave my life to God before I got baptized, I really buckled down and started trying to understand what I was reading in the Bible, and like trying to really apply it for the first time ever in my life. And I was 38 when that happened. So, I mean, it took me a long time to get here. I'm now 40 though, which is weird to say, by the way. But I can tell you from experience that when I did give my life to God and I got baptized, it was like, man, very much I got a new heart. And I went from being kind of a hardened dad to being softer, caring. I cared more about people's feelings. I wanted to be a better dad. I wanted my kids to have fun. I wanted to be a better husband. I started doing a lot more around the house. I'm not saying that it happened overnight. I didn't give my life to God and completely changed. But as you kind of like read more and you understand, really what this life is all about, it kind of naturally happens. So in my opinion, I think everyone should do it. So if you're kind of new in your walk with Christ and you haven't been baptized yet, show the world that you follow Jesus. It can be super motivational for other people too. Like when you see people getting baptized, it really sparks other people, and a lot of people start getting baptized. And if you haven't witnessed a baptism, man, it's so powerful. Our church does it, and there's usually a lot of people that get baptized, and it's just, I'm not an emotional guy, but every time it happens, it becomes very emotional to me. It's a very powerful moment. So if you haven't seen one, definitely go to a baptism and see what it's all about, because it is super rad. And but when I read that in the Bible, I was like, man, because like I said, I had the pleasure of baptizing my kids a month ago, and I got to baptize one of my buddies, which you'll see in the next video. And it was just before we went on that trip, it was like, I read that and it was like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? This is exactly what I'm doing. So sometimes I feel like the Bible is just like living, breathing. It happens right away. Like I feel like you can apply what you read to almost everyday life. It's pretty awesome, and it's sometimes freaky. But with that being said, I mean, if you haven't taken that step, if you're kind of new and you've given your life to God, the next step is getting baptized. Show other people, motivate other people to do it, man. It's so powerful. It spreads like wildfire. And that's, as followers of Christ, I feel like that's what we want to do. But without further ado, let's talk about wacky worms, man. Wacky worms are so awesome. I'm gonna set this camera down so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing here. Oh, I've been doing yard work today, so I figured let's be out in the yard today. So what you'll need for wacky worm fishing is going to be, I like these, but you can do any of them. These are actually wacky hooks. So they are, usually they come in 5 packs. This is a 1 size. This is my favorite wacky hook to use. There's plenty of them. You don't have to get this particular brand, but this is what I like to use. And if you want to make one worm last a long time, get you a wacky tool. This one is O-Tools, I believe. And they're little rubber grommets that go on the worm, which I'll show you here in a second. And then you just need a stick bait, right? I like, I think a good all-around color, which has been super successful for me, has been watermelon red. It works in dark conditions because it's a darker worm. It works in clear conditions because anything green pumpkin is like super natural. I feel like it looks natural if it's clear water, and also if it's dark, it has a big enough dark enough profile that they can see it. So if you're like on a budget, you just kind of want to get a pack of worms and get what you need to go fishing, I would suggest watermelon red or green pumpkin. Those are kind of my 2 go-tos. Go to these, they have these at Walmart. Get you some wacky hooks or like a #1 octopus hook, but I mean wacky hooks are awesome. And then O-Tools. If you can't find this, not a big deal. You can actually hook it straight through the worm, but these will make it to where you can catch like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fish on one worm, versus typically if you just have to hook through the worm, you get a couple of catches in, and that's really all you get. But either way, I mean, sometimes I like to just put it straight through the worm, but lately I've been putting these on here, and it's really saved me a lot of baits. Like I used to fly through a pack of these, and like 4 or 5 fish, I'd have to go get another pack out of the truck. But do that, and I feel like that'll help you. Either way though, if you don't want to use those tools, just go catch a fish, man. It's super fun and worth it anyway. I mean, soft plastics are like $6 a pack, man. And for the fun you get out of it, even if they're higher than that, it's well worth the money. All right, so I know we talked about how to rig up a hook, but I'm gonna show you again, because I did kind of switch gears. I was talking to you guys about Texas rigging a worm, so this is different. So you can see you got an eyelet. I'm gonna try my best to get it to where you guys can see this, right? Okay, so you go through the loop, boom, right through there. And I like to kind of take the hook and put it in my hand and put my finger right where that eyelet is. And then there's many ways to do it. This is how I do it. And I'll take it and I'll wrap it 7 times. I'm weird. I like to do everything 7 times just because it's a biblical number. But so there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now you can see you have your loop here that you had your finger in. You got your tag end right here. You take that and you put it through your loop. Boom, just like that. And I like to take it and bite that with my tooth and then pull it straight. Take your other end here and cinch it down. And you can kind of see it just cinches it right down. Okay, you can also lick that too to lubricate it. I'm using 8-pound line, so it's pretty slick. You take your clippers and you cut that tag end off. I don't do the whole thing. I like to leave a little bit because sometimes it'll cinch down and you want a little bit of room. So usually I'll clip just, I don't know if you can kind of see, and it's so hard to do this. I'm not, anyway, so you do that. And then you get your worm. So I have one in my pocket actually. Okay, and I like to use this tool, like I said, but it's cool because you can like take, what I like to do is put either the hook or the grommet right, I don't know if you guys can see, there's kind of like a flat end and there's a pointed end here. And there's like a area typically on them that's smooth. I think they call that the egg sac. I'm not really sure. And I take this and I like to put one right there on that, because it's kind of almost in the middle. and it gives it a super smooth fall. Anyway, so you roll that rubber band up here, bow, it's on there. See? And then I take my hook and put it right under that band. See the band on here? Take that hook, put it right under that band. Boom, that's it. And there's your wacky. There's your wacky rig. So the point of this is that it hits the water and slowly floats down. So if the fish are up high, they'll get it. If the fish are low, they'll get it. So it's a really great way to just slowly search everything. But you throw it in there like this, and it just floats down. And then you'll pop it up and kind of bring it back to the top again, or close to the top, and let it fall down. Now, what I like to do in between pulls or twitches, whatever you want to call them, I like to give it like a good 8 seconds, 9 seconds. So like, this is not a fast fishing method. This is slow and methodical, which I like because it's more relaxing than like power fishing. You know, if you're throwing and cranking and winding all day long, you're not really relaxing a whole lot. When you catch fish, it's a lot of fun. I'm not saying don't fish those methods, but with this, let the worm soak. Don't pull it straight out. Don't be jerking around. You don't have to go super fast on it, right? The point is to go slow, I feel like. So when it hits, it floats down, you let it float down, and you jerk it back up again. Now I have like a bunch of catches that I'm gonna show you guys, showing you all this method, but I kind of wanted to explain it. I'm a slow learner, so I like to kind of get visual with stuff, but you throw it, and you just kind of search around. Sometimes I'll throw it really close to the shore, depending on what time of year it is, but just fish around. Thoroughly fish a spot before you move on. Like, try up shallow, try mid-range, try deep. And it's really fun. I catch a lot of fish that way. But without further ado, here's some fish catches using the wacky method, because I mean, I love it personally. I think you will too. It's my wife's favorite method of fishing, really. I think a lot of people's favorite method of fishing, but it works year round. When the fish are like lethargic from when it gets cold, the fish get lethargic. It's super effective then. It's super effective when they're aggressive, you know? So I mean, it's an easy way to go out and catch tons of fish. So I'm gonna show you guys some catches using it. If you have any questions about it, if you have any questions on how to rig it, because I'm not a great explainer, I'm sure, message me on here. I'll be happy to explain it further for you. But I think that's really, I mean, I really feel like if you could hook up a wacky worm and go fish, like I have it on an 8-pound line and a finesse pole, like I've already talked about in previous videos, man, you can go out and just catch a lot of fish. And I like to use it as a search. Even if I'm power fishing, like I'll throw a chatterbait or a swim jig, and then if I feel something hit it, and I didn't get them, I'll throw a wacky worm in there. Like, it'll tell me exactly where they are, and they bite it almost all the time. I mean, especially watermelon red is my favorite color. You guys try it. If you have other favorite colors, comment below. I want to know what you're fishing with. But it's an honor to make these videos for you guys. I have a lot of fun fishing. I hope you do too. Hopefully this will get you on. But I'm sure I'll go over some other methods. But I think the wacky worm is probably the best one. So without further ado, here's some videos catching. I'll catch you guys on the next video. It's going to be rad. It's going to be a river trip. We went to Illinois River, and we had a good time. I caught my first smallmouth bass, but that'll be the next video. Here's some fish catches. We'll see you next time.